All right, let's hit the field.
It is Sunday, August 17th, and the Yankees were going for the sweep in St. Louis. Back and forth game once again, but could the Yankees prevail? My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is Pinstripe Territory.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
How's it going, everybody? How's it going? Welcome back. Welcome back. And a big series win for the Yankees. A big series sweep for the New York Yankees. 3 games on the road, and now that's 5 out of 6. So all of a sudden, after a really tough funk there for a while, the Yankees have won 5 out of 6. Now, I know that the competition has not been phenomenal. The Cardinals, after this series, are just a 61-64 team, and the other team that the Yankees took 2 out of 3 from is the Twins, who they always beat, and they sold at the deadline, so obviously not a great team. But the fact that the Yankees are starting to get on a little bit of a roll, maybe that builds some momentum going into Tampa Bay here. The Yankees have a day off tomorrow and then a couple of games at their own minor league stadium. And then I'll tell you what, that series, 4 games at home against Boston, beginning next Friday, the 21st, that is going to be, beginning Thursday, the 21st. That is going to be exciting. The stadium is going to be buzzing. Yankees got to take care of business. Right? I mean, you got a chance to pass Boston if you can really bring your game next week. So a lot was being made before today's game of Giancarlo Stanton being out of the lineup again. I was surprised that people are surprised. There's a reason that we practically had a celebration of life planned for him after that first game that he played in the outfield. This happens every time. I mean, he plays for a few games. He starts to mash the baseball because he hits better when he's playing the field, so the manager keeps running him out there. And then, ultimately, his legs fall off.
You ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan.
But he was able to come in and get a pinch hit walk today. So Ben Rice behind the dish again today. Ben Rice 0 for 2, but with a couple of walks. It seems like he has basically become the Yankees' new primary catcher very quietly. But 7 RBIs yesterday will do that. And, on base a couple of times today. Wells did come in for defense late in the game. But, the Yankees were able to win this series. It was 3 pretty good games. But, back and forth with a team that's under 500. I would have liked to have made more of a statement. But, hey, not going to complain about a win streak.
We're going streaky! Wow, winning.
All right, so let's get to the recap.
Let's go. Let's get it going.
So both teams were quiet early. Aaron Judge took one to the warning track in right field, just missed a home run. I feel like he's dialing it in. He had a home run yesterday. He's hit some balls hard. He had that rocket double. I feel like he's getting ready to go on a run. And the fact that he's going to be comfortable playing in Tampa, where the Yankees have their minor league ballpark, over the next couple of days where the ball flies, I think he could, go off a little bit and get hot as we head into this Boston series. At least that's what I'm choosing to believe. Yankees got a really nice defensive play from Jazz in the bottom of the second inning, took away a base hit up the middle. Good, strong throw to first base. He also made an error later in this game. Yankees did make 2 errors. The defense was not particularly good for either side. There were 4 errors total in this game. Cardinals also made 2 errors. Jason Dominguez got in the first run with a productive out. He had a good day. He was 2 for 5, another multi-hit game. And Ryan McMahon. Look, I said his name right. Ryan McMahon made it 2-0 with a base knock. Hey, I can say his name properly. WNBC. Yankees made it 3-0 on a beautiful piece of hitting by Jose Caballero. And I'll tell you what, Joe Girardi predicted it. And he predicts an unbelievable amount of stuff in the booth. Like, I swear to God, last night he was like 2 steps ahead of everybody. He is quickly becoming my favorite analyst. And honestly, I do wish he was still a manager, but he's like 2 steps ahead of every play in the game. It's obvious to me that he could still manage in the major leagues if he wants. Start calling him Joe Stradamus. Anyway, 2 days in a row that Jose Caballero has come up big in a baseball way. Yesterday he had the bunt. He also had the perfect piece of hitting today. We've seen him run the bases well. A lot of good stuff on the bases today. So, hey, good pickup. Nice to add some baseball to this team for a change. Home plate umpire was awful today. We've had a problem with the umpires all year, every year since we started the podcast. The umpires are crap. Everyone knows it. We need full automated balls and strikes, 100%. Why not get it right? I will die on this hill. Automated full balls and strikes. Got to do it. Game's too important to have it decided, by basically just some guy just guessing, right? I mean, that play or that call on Trent Grisham was absurd. We got chat here from Franklin. Says, do you think they need to send Doval down a couple of games so he can reset? And note they won today without the home run ball. They don't do that very often. I don't think they're going to send Doval down. And I'm not even sure if he can be sent down. I'm not sure what his options situation is. But he's got a great arm. You just got to dial it in. Boogie Boy Brown says, just got my schedule for the next homestand. We'll be behind the bar for games 1 and 4 versus the Red Sox. Congrats. I'm jealous. Cardinals got a couple of runs back in the 4th inning. Fly ball to right field. A rare bad play on defense from Cody Bellinger. He just misjudged it. It looked like his first 2 steps were in, and then he had to kind of reverse course and, turn on the jets, and he just couldn't get there. You could tell that he was beating himself up about it in right field. And then to make matters worse, the next inning he bounced into a double play. You know what? I still want to re-sign him. He ended up doing some great things in this game. I still want to pay him. Pay that man his money. Cardinals tied it up in the 5th inning, ultimately knocked Warren out of the game. I'll spotlight him in a minute. I think he was just a victim of the conditions today. It was really, really hot. As Ichiro would say, hotter than 2 rats in a wool sock. But he was able to kind of, keep the Yankees in the game. Ultimately was not able to get deep. He threw 90-plus pitches in 4 2/3 innings, which is not ideal. But I thought he was fine today. Devin Williams came in, got the Yankees out of the 5th inning. One thing I've noticed about Williams is he's throwing the fastball a lot more, right? He is using that fastball. And today it was kind of like, his primary pitch. And he wasn't throwing the changeup that much at all. But I think that's a good move for him. And he seems to have success with it. And I like him in the middle relief innings. 5th, 6th inning, he seems to do fine. And he seems to pitch more aggressively, more confidently, because he knows he can't give up the game right there usually. So, nice job by Devin Williams. Good example in the 6th inning of how the Yankees' approach to the game has changed and how baseball has changed in general. Yankees put the first 2 men on in a tie game with nobody out. And then instead of bunting, they swing away. And McMahon, I almost did it again, McMahon, bounced into a double play. And the Yankees didn't end up scoring. But, I mean, in that situation, you could bunt the runners over and make, get a run on and out, and take the lead. I mean, second guessing maybe, but Ryan Rucco on the broadcast was saying basically that this was a good bunting situation before it even happened. So that's really first guessing. Cardinals immediately took the lead on a home run off of Doval. Not off to a great start with the Yankees. He was the guy that I was actually most excited about that the Yankees picked up at the deadline. His stuff is electric, but I think Bednar is proving to be the most polished pitcher of the bunch. Cody Bellinger tied the game with a sac fly in the 7th inning. Yankees bullpen was able to hold it down, and then they broke through for 4 runs in the 9th. Bellinger with another one through the right side. Got ruled an error. I thought it could have been called a hit. Cost him a couple of RBIs. But the Yankees pick up the win, and that's 3 straight.
Ball game over. Yankees win. Yankees win.
Bronx Kid says, let's not forget Judge should have 40 home runs, and you're not wrong. He hit one down there in Tampa that was clearly fair and got called foul, and one of Boone's ejections on the year, I believe. But today's belt was going to be kind of difficult until late. I was kind of racking my brain. I was like, well, some of the runs that the Yankees got, were not that great. I mean, Bellinger, he had a sacrifice fly, but he also let those 2 runs in. I was thinking Caballero, but I don't have a picture of him, so I would have had to find one. Ultimately, though, the big double down the right field line by Goldschmidt late in the game. Got to say, classy job by the St. Louis fans to give him a standing ovation in his return. Belt goes to Paul Goldschmidt. Nice job, Goldie Knox. Probably not going to win a lot more. He's starting to lose some playing time. I think when Rice is unable to catch, or whenever they want to get Wells in the game, I think you're going to see Rice start to get more at-bats at first base. They want to see what they can, do with him. You've seen Bellinger play first a few times later on in this year. So obviously Goldie has cooled off after a hot start, but good to see him bounce back in his return to St. Louis. Overall, having a solid year. I mean, you look at the numbers, he's hitting .280 with a .763 OPS, but when you consider how he started, he's definitely fallen off. 10 home runs, 41 ribbies, solid year. 37 years old, probably won't be back next year, but still, good game for Goldie. All right, let's talk about Will Warren, who I thought grinded it out today. I mean, the Yankees didn't help him a lot on defense. He has problems in the first inning. He gave up a leadoff single. You're thinking, oh no, it's going to be one of those days, but then he proceeded to pitch out of it. He threw a lot of pitches kind of working around some base runners. He had 7 base runners. But overall in the heat, it can be very tough. On a day where it feels like 109, I've pitched on days like that, even at the amateur level, and your mouth gets dry and your hands start to get so slippery because of the sweat that the rosin doesn't even help. It can be difficult to pitch in these kind of conditions. So the fact that he was able to even keep the Yankees in the game into the 5th inning was solid for a rookie. He's really rounded into form this year. I did not expect him to become as good as he's become. So got to say, even though he didn't get deep in the game, nice job by Will Warren. All right, so series recap. Obviously Giancarlo Stanton didn't get to play much in this series because he was still sore. But keep an eye on that. Day off tomorrow. He might return to the lineup on Tuesday against Tampa. Joe Girardi, Joe Stradamus, said that he suspects that Stanton will play on Tuesday in the outfield. I think you might see Judge get back in the outfield this week. Short right field in Tampa, just like Yankee Stadium, so the arm shouldn't be too much of a big deal. And still, you can hit the cutoff man, right? I mean, he's throwing already, so I don't know if he's game ready, but hopefully soon, and that'll allow Giancarlo to be in the DH spot more often. But, Ben Rice going ballistic yesterday was a big deal. 7 ribbies. He continues to just steal at bats from anybody who's not hitting because he hits the ball so hard. He's so consistent. Judge inching towards 40 home runs, and Max Fried in a bad funk. He had another tough outing yesterday, ERA over 6 since July. So just a tough stretch for him. But Yankees sweep, hard to complain about that. Let's take a few voicemails.
Hey, Derek. First time, long time. Calling with regard to the Yankees. It is 2 outs now in the top of the 9th. 7-4 Yankees. I just can't believe that the Yankees would possibly let Cody Bellinger go. I know the season isn't over yet. I would sign him right now. I would get him to sign a deal. He's 31 going on 32, whatever his age is. You've got another 4 or 5 years of good baseball with this guy. Yeah, and he's been hurt and whatever, but has he not been clutch? And Goldie just hit one down the line over first base. So we're going to score some more runs. I thank you, Derek. You've got a fantastic podcast. Love it. And I wish you all the best.
Appreciate it, my guy. Appreciate it. So when it comes to Bellinger, I think an extension should be offered. A lot of times when a guy has an opt-out, you can get them to agree to a deal so that they don't opt out, right? So maybe you can give him a 5-year deal if he was willing to take it. He obviously seems comfortable here. He's had no trouble adjusting to New York. His dad won a championship with the Yankees. It's got to be a great place to play. I mean, the clubhouse is amazing. The food is amazing. Obviously, the city is the best in the world. I don't know why he would want to leave, even for a little bit more money. The Yankees are, postseason contenders pretty much every year, and they're not in it every year, but most years they're in. And occasionally they go deep into the playoffs. They've played for the American League Championship a number of times in recent years. They went to the World Series last year. I know it's been a while without a title, but if you're Bellinger, you have to see yourself as part of the solution to getting number 28, knowing like what you see around you, that you're one of the better baseball players on the team. And, maybe, that's not what's important to him. I don't know. I can't speak to what's in the man's heart, but if I were Bellinger, I would want to spend the rest of my career with the Yankees. I would at least be open to talks about an extension, but a lot of that time, these guys defer to what their agent wants, and the agents want these guys to become free agents so that there can be bidding wars. Got a call here about the bullpen.
Hey, Derek, Anthony here from Southern California. I just calling to voice my concerns about the bullpen. Is anybody in this pen really somebody you can trust in a tight game, clutch, big situation? You play a lot of one-run games, not just in general in the regular season, but also you play a lot of one-run games in the postseason.
I'd say I'm starting to trust Weaver more. He's becoming more and more the guy that we saw pre-injury. I like Bednar. I think that he's a guy who's not going to, if he fails, it's not going to be because of the moment being too big. He doesn't seem like he's phased that much by it. Doval and Williams and, pretty much everybody else in the bullpen. And Tim Hill, maybe I'd trust a little bit, but all these guys, they scare you, right? Even if they have great stuff, the command might not be great. So, I mean, Cashman did what he could to shore up the bullpen. The problem is when you're not getting length out of your starters, you got to use more of these guys. And eventually you're going to run into somebody who doesn't have it that day. That's the problem. Got a call here about Will Warren.
Yeah, Derek Danny from California. Fourth inning, Yanks up 3-0. Warren dealing. Actually, it's kind of cool, man, seeing him turn into a bona fide professional starting pitcher right before our eyes right now. I don't know if he'll ever be a number one, but it looks like he's going to be a solid number two if he keeps progressing. And he does, I know we've said it before, but he does remind me a lot of Michael King. Anyways, hope I don't jinx it. Hope he keeps this up. Have a good one, man. Later.
Appreciate it. I love hearing you guys' reactions. I have to admit, I have to eat some crow. I was not a fan of Will Warren coming into this season. I did not think he would last until August. I thought he would either get pummeled back into the minor leagues or get traded.
I've never been so wrong in my whole life.
He's been great. Quick word from DraftKings, and then we'll wrap it up. The dog days of summer mean it's time for the boys of summer to kick things into gear. And the best way to cash in on your baseball IQ is with DraftKings Sportsbook. Never bet on baseball before? It is simple. Pick a guy to go yard, hammer some live odds mid-game, or just ride with your squad and hope for the best. No spreadsheets, just vibes and dingers. Here's something special for the first timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code FOUL. That's code FOUL for new customers and get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming sources, see dkng.co/audio. All right. So we got another couple of comments here. Brian Bashman with the super chat. Appreciate that. Says, we blame these guys for going for the money, but this is the money they're really going to make in their lives. They're not qualified to do anything else, so you can't blame them for cashing in. You're not wrong. And some of these guys, they go on to become broadcasters or whatever. I don't know how much money Cody Bellinger has made in his career, but I'd have a hard time believing that he hasn't made enough to survive the rest of his life, basically. But you're not wrong. You know, if you can provide for your family for generations, generational money, do it. I did have a problem. I do have some problems when somebody comes across as greedy or all about the money. Like, for instance, you know, I wasn't going to blame Soto for going to the Mets. He had the highest offer from the Mets. His family obviously wanted him to go to the Mets. But when he didn't make the All-Star team and he complained about a $100,000 bonus for making the team, and it was like, oh, it cost me $100,000. It's like, dude, you're making $50 million a year. Are you kidding me? That was just very, very, as Michael Kay, I think, said, tone deaf. But great win for the Yankees. That's 3 in a row.
Ball game over. Yankees win. Yankees win.
I am going to wrap it up. I'm taking a full day off tomorrow. Just a full break. I'll be back Tuesday. We got the Rays for 2 at George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, so I'll be here for post games all week. We might be able to squeeze in like a voicemail show or something later in the week, but keep calling in. If we get enough good ones, we'll do something. But going to be a pretty tight week for me, so pretty much post games all week, and then hopefully next week resume doing more and more of the voicemail shows and things like that. And we got Washington coming up next week, followed by a trip to Chicago to play the White Sox. And the Yankees really could go, 6-1 or 7-0 if they play well, right? You got to really, really beat up on these teams that you beat up on, that you should beat up on. And you got a chance to finish out this month strong and finish out the summer strong. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this content, please hit that like button and subscribe. Check out NYYDesigns.shop for some great merch. Support our sponsors. It helps keep the show going. And you can find us on all major audio platforms, so be sure to subscribe there too. But most importantly, come back again soon. We'll see you next time.